Welcome to the Acme Companies and Berrien Buggy. 3 years ago, we decided we wanted to build a car with an automatic transmission because we had a lot of requests for it and there was nobody building a buggy with an automatic transmission. So we spent the last 3 years developing, researching, finding parts and settling on what we were going to do. And we finally came down to it. We now have available to the public the first automatic transmission dune buggy, the Gtx. The idea was to use as many parts of our nostalgia chassis that we currently produce for the Volkswagen powered cars. The front beam, the steering, the master cylinder, the pedals, most of the components you would find on a Berrien Buggy nostalgia like the car here, or if you choose another style, the Lancer body car, which also fits on the nostalgia chassis. This is the Gtx chassis. At the front, you'll notice it looks exactly like the nostalgia chassis, which we have sold for many years and has proven very reliable. It has a fiberglass floor pan similar to the one that's on the nostalgia, with a modification to accept the automatic shifter for the automatic transmission. From there back, it's a completely different chassis. It is designed to use a 2006 through 2010 Chevrolet Cobalt or HHR drivetrain. The engine, the transmission, the shift assembly, the throttle pedal assembly, the radiator, the fans, the computers, the wiring harness, the axles, the brakes, the struts, the wheels, and all those other parts that are associated with the drivetrain of a Cobalt. What you have here is the prototype Gtx. It represents 3 years of work by the team from the Acme Companies. The Berrien Buggy guys in the fabrication shop, the Acme Composites team that built the fiberglass, and the Acme Car Company guys that did the assembly and the mechanical work on the car. Together they worked on this for 3 years. A year ago, we started driving the car. It worked right out of the bat. We never had any mechanical breakdowns. We made a lot of little tweaks, learned a lot about the car, did a whole bunch of different things to make it drive better, and it's proven to be a very good car. It weighs 1,635 pounds. In its stock normal configuration, it has 165 horsepower. It drives very well. It has overdrive, so that out on the freeways and the roads where there's high speed, the motor isn't over revving, it's just loafing along. it has made 6 laps on the Watkins Glen International Speedway without any problems, without any breakdowns. And so this is where we're at. Let me show you some of the differences in the car that we've added or changed from a normal Volkswagen powered dune buggy. We'll start in the cockpit, where you'll see that we only have 2 pedals. We use the stock Volkswagen pedal assembly. We remove the clutch pedal. We remove the throttle pedal. We retain the Volkswagen brake pedal and master cylinder. We use a Cobalt or HHR throttle pedal because this is a drive-by-wire system, nothing mechanical. You'll notice that there's a digital dash in this car. We did that to show that it's much easier to hook up a digital dash or more modern gauges to this car than this typical Volkswagen. You'll also notice that there's a shifter for the automatic transmission rather than the standard stick for a Volkswagen. That's some of the differences in the cockpit. We use the same seats as we do in the Volkswagen car. We use the same steering columns. We use the same front wiring harness. We start back here with some differences. We have a tonneau cover. This is the engine cover and needs to be part of this car. We also have a new 2-piece firewall because we did have to move the firewall section forward about 4 inches to accommodate the Gtx various components and features. So you lift this up to access the motor, and what you're looking at is an Gtx engine out of a 2006 Chevy Cobalt. This car has the stock air intake, the stock air filter, slightly modified. You can see the struts, which are at the same angles as the original geometry on a Cobalt. We use the original computers with a modified wiring harness. We use the original cooling system with the overflow tank, the radiator, and the fans. We use stock lower A-arms. All of these components come out of a 2006 Chevy Cobalt, 2006 to 2010, Cobalt or HHR. It's a very drivable, very neat car. Lots of performance given the power to weight ratio. Yet, it can be driven at 40 or 50 miles an hour without any trouble. It doesn't need to be a performance car. It's just a good driver. So this is what you've got. A traditional buggy idea with modern drivetrain, modern components, and it's still built in the same spirit or the same way that the original Volkswagen powered dune buggies were built since the mid-60s. Let's face it, this ain't your daddy's dune buggy. We're bringing dune buggies into the 21st century. Beginning today, you can purchase a GTX frame, a Lancer GTX body, a Nostalgia GTX body. We have a technical partnership with S&S Automotive to reprogram your computers and to modify the wiring harness to fit the GTX car. For more information, contact us directly, or to locate a GTX dealer, go to the Berrien Buggy website. Here's the deal. Dune buggying is a lot of fun. Many people were excluded because of the need to have a stick shift transmission. We've eliminated that need. So now anybody can have a dune buggy and drive it. So how about joining us and let's go have some fun.